Sometimes it takes someone from the other side of the fence to show you the way. In this case, the other side of the fence is clear across the country. As Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter tells us, that's how far two perfect strangers traveled in a unique exchange program to see what it would be like to walk a mile in each other's boots.
Riding a horse and helping to move cattle is not a typical day for Brian Arroyo. His normal workplace is nearly 3,000 miles away from this Oregon ranch. But thanks to Walk a Mile in My Boots, an exchange program co-sponsored by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the National Cattlemen's Foundation, Brian spent several days working alongside Roaring Springs ranch manager Stacy Davies.
Well, I'm here as part of the Walk a Mile in My Boots exchange program. The Fish and Wildlife Service is committed to working with landowners and ranchers, and particularly this program provides an opportunity for us to come out and really experience firsthand how these ranchers make it work in an economically viable venture, and also how to maintain the balance of biodiversity within the ranches.
Walk a Mile in My Boots program gives us the opportunity to bring someone from an agency into our life and share our lifestyle, our challenges, our successes with them, and better understand how the agency works and what a fellow like Brian needs to do and what he does on a daily basis.
Originally from Puerto Rico, Brian lives and works in Washington, D.C., so it was an eye-opening experience for him to visit Southeast Oregon and the vast 1 million-acre Roaring Springs Ranch.
Yesterday we rode for a few hours and moved cattle from one pasture to the next. This far it's been enjoyable. Brian's a very sharp individual that's shared a lot of things with me about politics and the internal workings of the agency and the pressures that they face and are under. It's been an enjoyable experience.
Well, I think now I have firsthand knowledge of how the ranch has been operated and how ranches can be operated. I think I will be able now to develop better tools and develop policies to facilitate implementation of some of these conservation actions in a way that do not penalize the rancher for doing the right thing.
The time Brian and Stacy spent together on the ranch gave them a chance to better understand each other and to share ideas about the best ways to preserve the land.
Working cooperatively with the various agencies, especially U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, has proven very beneficial to accomplishing the ranch mission. And the ranch mission is to be economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable.
It's a great thing for us. Fish and Wildlife Service, we have been trying to conserve the nation's resources for many, many years and decades, in fact. And it is important that we start recognizing that the only way we're truly going to achieve the overall success that we need is working with folks like Stacy and other ranchers.
I think the agencies and NCBA are both on the right track with programs like Walk a Mile. There's no way to reach for an average rancher like myself to reach Washington, D.C. without this kind of a program.
From helping the Davies family cook breakfast to riding the range, Brian enjoyed his trip to Oregon. Now it's time to change boots and prepare for a true Oregon cowboy to hit the city.
Large crowds in cities scare me to death, so that aspect of it will be a little challenging.
Well, Stacy is going to get to see how I spend my days. He'll probably experience a little bit of my commute, part of the city lifestyle. He's also going to be able to sit in with me in high-level meetings with executives both at the Fish and Wildlife Service and also with the Department of the Interior.
I wonder what bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. do, so I hope at the end of a few days in D.C. I'll have a much better understanding what they do and how it applies to on-the-ground management.
From the Roaring Springs Ranch in Southeast Oregon, I'm Brian Baxter for Cattleman to Cattleman.
And we'll see how a rancher gets along in the big city as we have the second half of our Walk a Mile in My Boots report on the next edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.